All right, so on the issue of police shootings, like such as the ones you see in the news, things like that, do you think that training or police slash body cameras are the solution to, I guess, like maybe slowing, or not slowing, but like reducing the amount of like police shootings that might happen unjustly?
I think it's a fact of life, and there are a lot of variables. Because just like any occupation, a police officer, a doctor, a lawyer, a teacher, a judge, there's always a standard that has to be met by any of these groups I just spoke of. There always has to be a standard. But there is never one defined way to do anything. You may have a nurse that has a different opinion as to how this needs to be done on a patient. A police officer. Some people are smarter, some people are stronger, some people have a better capacity to reason, some people's reaction time may be slower. All these variables go into how police perceive and how they react to a stimulus, what things that they see that make them have to perform. We used to have this training tool called the fax machine. And basically what that was, it was a simulated situation where a police officer, we're given a scenario, and you're given a gun that it's the size of your service gun, but it doesn't fire bullets, it fires electronic.
It's like a 3D thing or something like a.
Yeah, you're firing a beam
Okay.
toward a projection screen, and it records your accuracy. If you are accurate with your shots, it will disable your target. You might send 6 guys in there to do this simulated training session. You might get, out of the 6 guys, you might get 4 different reactions as to when you fire and how many shots you fire. So my point is, we all receive the same training, but none of us react to anything the exact same way.
Because everyone has different temperament.
Everybody has different temperament. Like I said, one person may feel intimidated. Say, for instance, if you're confronting a person who's larger, and the officer responding is someone who's slighter. His level of confidence of what to do is going to be different from a guy who may be the same size as the subject, because you feel less intimidated because of the size differential. So all of these little aspects go in. You say, another example is, you have a white officer, a guy that grew up in a predominantly white suburban area. Now he's gone through this training, he comes into this city, now he's going to be dealing with people's daily habits, their rituals, what motivates them. He has no idea. So he doesn't react to that black youth or black man or black woman the same way I would. Because, say, I grew up in the inner city, these are the types of people that I've dealt with and seen all my life. I feel less intimidated, I feel less threatened. I may not be as aggressive. He may not feel that way. But he's only doing that because he's trying to protect himself.
Can you give an example, maybe when you were in the police force, where your temperament might have been different from your officers?
Yeah. I was assisting an officer, a white officer, on a call one day at a housing project, and I'm alone in my car. He was also a single, and I hear over the radio him calling for a census. He needs some backup. I could hear his voice registered, like on a scale of 1 to 10, as far as how excited he was. He was like a 9.5.
Wow.
And he's like, "Send me some backup right away. This thing is getting out of hand. These people are here going crazy. Send another car right away." I roll up, I get out, I hear this shouting, this screaming. I walk up, I open the door. There's two women. These two gay women, they're lovers. One wants to leave, the other one wants her to stay. That's why they're arguing. Because there was a disagreement. I want to get my stuff, and I want to leave. So she's trying to convince this woman to stay. They're angry at each other. He mistakes their aggression towards each other as threatening towards him. Because he's telling them to quiet down, they won't. They're still arguing. So I walk in, I see what's going on. I ask the one woman what's her name. She tells me her name. I said, what's the problem? She says, I just want to get my shit and I'm ready to go. So I get on the radio, I cancel. I said, we're good here. We got this under control. And I took her outside. I asked him to speak to the other woman. I took her outside. She told me what happened. They had a lover's quarrel. She just wanted to get her stuff and go to her mother's house. So I said, okay, come in the house. I'll go upstairs with you, pack some things in your bag. She packed some things in her bag, brought it back down to my cruiser, put her in the car, and I drove her to her mother's house. Clear. It's over. Dude was just off the chain, thinking like this was next to World War II. And I'm like, it ain't that big of a deal. He could not control them, so he felt threatened. And I like the guy. I see him from time to time now. I never mentioned that to anybody else because I felt bad for him. But it was like, I got it immediately. He just did not understand the situation. And he felt threatened, and there's no doubt in my mind it's because of his surroundings. It made him uncomfortable.
So just different officers' backgrounds
Yes.
will affect their temperament.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. And it doesn't mean he's a bad cop.
Yeah.
It's just that this is something he's not accustomed to. And this is something that needs to be addressed in training about sensitivity toward other people. But that's not an easy thing to tackle. And it just isn't.
And a lot of people, they hear like sensitivity as being something that's like, oh, negative and will reduce the performance of police officers.
And it doesn't at all. It just makes you more aware of your surroundings and how to deal with it. Because I had someone ask me once, it was a child. I was talking to some kids at school, and a kid asked me one day if I was ever scared. Was I ever scared at something at work? And I says, yeah. And the other kid looked at me and mocked me like, oh, you're a police officer. You're not supposed to be scared. And I said, I'm human. I said, no, I said, it's a very unwise person that's never scared. I said, fear only heightens your awareness of things around you. It doesn't mean you. I said, what you're asking me is if I'm a coward. No, I'm not a coward. There's a difference between fear and being a coward. Fear makes you aware of the things around you. It's that thing you hear people talk about, the hairs sticking up on the back of your neck. It's your senses working, telling you there's danger afoot. You better be scared, because if you're not scared, then you become oblivious to the dangers around you. There's a difference.